Places, everybody. Okay, today we're doing frog racing. Yep, you heard it. That's right, frog racing. Let the fun begin. Greetings, friends and Robloxians. I'm Birdbrain Sane. Please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching. In today's video, we're doing frog racing. It's an idea that came to us spur of the moment. We were just having some fun catching frogs and commenting on how fast they were, and decided to name this server Frog Racing, and spur of the moment we built this tube to get the frogs lanes to run down. Tube 1 on the right and Tube 2 on the left, or lane 2 on the left. Put out a chest with a conveyor so people who want to race their frogs can drop it into the chest. I promise to give it back and take them out of the chest, drop them in the tube, and let's just see what happens. Now, frogs are still relatively new. They came about yesterday as of the making of this video, and I wasn't really sure how we could use them or what their characteristics were going to be. I thought maybe they would de-res or disappear, kind of like the fireflies do if you don't catch them right away, but it appears the frogs will hang out for quite a while if you catch them and then release them. I'd like to know what your experience is. Have you had frogs de-res after leaving them out on your island after a while? This is after you catch and release a frog. I actually haven't even found out if we can name them yet, so maybe we can put a name tag on these things. It'd be really interesting to see. At the beginning of these races, it's kind of rudimentary. We've put them in the tubes, and I've told my friends to get ready and break the glass barriers that are holding the frogs in. So this is the very first race. I'm going to do a countdown. And then I'll say go. Or 1, 2, 3, go. And in lane 1, we have Super Oof's frog Willy, and lane 2, we've got my frog Kermit. Willy being released by Dragon Tree 2000. It looks like it may have been a little bit of a false start. Kermit does win this first race. In this part of the video, we're still figuring out the best way to release the frogs. Breaking down the glass barriers isn't the best way to do it. We're going to work that out in just a moment as we make our way through this video. On a side note, you may notice that I'm using the sound effects and the music from the game itself. Normally I add my own music, and on occasion I try to throw in a sound effect. It is something I aspire to be good at, but for time's sake and to just change it up a little bit, we're using the video game music and sounds. Please let me know if you like that. Maybe it adds a little more consistency and understanding to what's going on in the video. Your comments are welcome. Meatball and I are both trying to make sure that Super Oof got his frog back. We're not trying to steal anybody's frogs during these games. It's just for fun. Definitely want to make sure everybody is having a good time and everybody's treated fairly. I don't know how legal it would be if we actually raced the frogs for, say, a wager. If your frog lost, you actually gave your frog up to the winner. That might be a little bit too much like gambling, might be illegal. So we didn't do that in this game. Maybe look a little bit into the rule books, though. That might be interesting. Probably don't want to do it, though, unless everybody really knows what they're getting into. And we'll see how valuable these frogs really are. We've only seen green and brown ones so far. Up to this point, we've only raced the green ones. There are some people flashing brown frogs, and we will get a brown frog to race. It's so interesting to read the chat after doing the game, filming the video, and then going back and editing it. I see that this guy, Doom of Ball, is saying, do not do it. I'm not quite sure what he's talking about. I think he was afraid people were going to lose their frogs. But like I was saying earlier, they don't appear to be de-resing. I was also worried they might jump off the island if we let them run around, but they don't jump off the island. In fact, Meatball was spleefing a frog earlier, and the frog ended up going right back to the spawn point. So after catching and releasing a frog, it appears to be yours or belong to the island. Again, I'd be interested to know what your experiences are. Please leave a comment. Tell us what's going on with your frogs. We're going to race 2 green frogs again. It looks like it is Kermit against Willy. Maybe this time we'll get a cleaner start. We're going to have Super Oof in there releasing his own frog, and DT2 is going to release my frog. DT2, that's Dragon Tree 2000, an excellent builder, excellent designer. Dragon Tree designed me a pine tree display, a tree monument, if you will. Please come visit my island and check it out. It's really cool. I've never seen a pine tree look so awesome the way he set it up. I love the way people build and are so creative. It's what really keeps me coming back to this game. So I'm giving Super Oof build so he can release his frog. And you can only catch frogs on somebody else's island, or bees or fireflies or anything for that matter, if the owner of the island has given you permissions to build. You got to be careful with that though. I usually don't give everybody build at the same time. Not that I don't trust them, but I don't want mistakes to happen. Nothing against Super Oof. I trust him. I like him. So I do give Super Oof build just for the moment to open the gate, and then I take it off. So during that moment, I wasn't really paying attention to the race. I was more paying attention to the building permissions. But I was asking again who won this race, and it looks like Willie won. Super Oof saying they're lagging. So there's that. It's really hard to get the gates to open at the right time if you're lagging. Breaking blocks to release the frogs is not the ideal way. Again, we're going to see the evolution of this racetrack, which I thought was pretty good. But I know this is just the beginning. So many people out there, if anybody's watching this, please make a track like this, improve on it, invite me over, show me what you did, or post a video of it and put a link to it in my video here. I'd love to see that. So I'm saying, darn it, Kermit. They told me Willie won, but actually they end up telling me that Kermit did win. So my frog is the winner. I'm really not sure who Kermit or Willie is. They're both green frogs. I dropped one in each tube, but you can't tell one from the other. We do end up racing a brown frog against a green frog. It would be great if anybody could release a frog on your island, but unlike building permissions, trying to release a animal or a frog or even a bee, it's just not possible if you're not the owner of the island. Building permissions does need to make it happen. I'm asking people if they want to race to go ahead and drop their frog into the chest here. So if anybody wants to race, I think a good way to do it is to drop the frog in, since it does have to be the owner who puts the frog into the racetrack. Just make sure you trust the people running the race. There's a little bit of debate about who's winning. What was Augustin saying? He was saying he had a question about catching the frog with the web. He means net. Later, you liberate him. The frog is in your island forever, like cows. I was wondering that too. So we're not quite sure, Augustin. We're still trying to figure that out. I think so. Later, I'm going to try putting a name tag on one. Is it my frog forever? What do frogs eat? We should be able to feed them fireflies or maybe some other bug, bees maybe. But there might be an update coming with evoluting, with finding out what the frogs can do. They might have more abilities. They might actually have a purpose on your island other than just looking cool and racing them in racetracks. So I'm challenging Meatball to a race. He has named his brown frog Meatball. Meatball against Kermit. Well, we've got my favorite thing hanging around here, so I'm inviting them to race if they wanted to get in it. I don't want to just dominate it by me and my friends. Anybody was welcome to participate, but they never responded to my question. So again, I'm kind of goading Meatball into getting his brown frog in on the race. You want to race Meatball, Meatball? Super Oof's running around with his green frog back there. Willie? Meatball it is. Alright, Meatball's going to put brown Meatball frog in the chest. Somebody dropped in 4 green frogs also, so I'm going to leave those there. They're not mine. I'm not sure what's happening with the green frogs. Probably should have asked for a little more organization and order before we just start dropping all kinds of frogs in there, but hopefully everybody gets their frog back and nobody's losing their own frogs here, because they are so new and they're still valuable. At least they feel like it to me. Uh-oh, I released that frog into the tube and the door wasn't closed. This is where we start to get the good idea of how to evolve it. But first we got to catch that pesky frog and get him back in our backpack so we can put him into the racetrack. If you want to get something done right, you got to do it yourself. So I go ahead and catch that frog. I'm just kidding. Those two were perfectly capable. Well, Meatball should have been able to do it, but I got that frog, which is just as well because I got to be the one to place it into the track. And you see what I'm doing here? Doors. Why didn't I think of that to begin with? Put some doors in here. So while Meatball was replacing the glass, which was worked for the moment, but just wasn't quite ideal, putting doors in here is really going to change the game. So I didn't actually notice that Meatball put that glass there. I am knocking this glass down, putting the door up while Meatball is on the other side, and he is seeing what I've got going on. So he's putting that door right there. Meatball like reads my mind. Much better builder than I am. Genius builder, Meatball. I'm very thankful to have Meatball as a friend. Taught me a lot about this game. Just a lot of fun to hang out with. So we're dropping the frogs into the tubes, into the lanes behind closed doors. And then we're going to do a countdown. And on the count, we're going to open those doors. Dragon Tree said he liked the vid. I'm not sure if he's talking about this video. we haven't even posted it yet. Dragon Tree, how funny. All right, so we've got Meatball in lane 2 and Kermit in lane 1. Still making this up as we go. I'm asking Meatball to come up here so he's got a overview of the door. Yep, we can see the track better, I think. We're both opening the doors from up here. It's a little bit more fair. Now I keep saying place your bets, but really there's no betting going on here, no gambling. Just who do you want to win? So I'd like to see my frog win, but it's pretty cool to see a brown frog on the track. Meatball all the way, brown Meatball frog. I'm asking somebody to do a countdown. And then we're going to open the doors at the end of the count. Super Oof's doing the count. 3, 2, 1. And Super Oof says, go! And we open the doors almost at the same time. Ooh, it was a very close race, but I think that Meatball, the brown frog, did have it by a hair. Very cool. That was a lot of fun. Meatball wins. Super Oof agrees. I think we all saw it. Let's do an instant replay. In slow motion. The doors open at exactly the same time. Meatball was postured a little bit better, ready to go, facing the right direction. That might have been the determining factor. Kermit was just not paying attention. They both turned to the left and tried to make their escape, but Meatball and Super Oof are very good at running around catching them. Meatball's very excited. His little brown froggy beat mine. That was a lot of fun. I can't wait to do this again. So I was just getting ready to finish recording. I was telling Super Oof what my channel was because they wanted to watch the video, but then my friend Catsy J4 arrived. So I wanted Catsy to hang out and watch a couple of races. So we do extend just for a moment to allow Catsy to take part in the fun. So glad she stopped by and got to see this. Unfortunately, at this part of the video, I was dropping frogs into the chest, and it appeared that one may have fallen under the conveyor. Somehow I thought if I moved the chest, picked it up, that I would find it, but Meatball says he didn't get it. He didn't know what happened to it, but on occasion when you're dropping stuff onto a conveyor, into a conveyor chest, I've noticed stuff will, on a very rare occasion, drop through or not actually go into the chest. Some kind of weird glitch happens on occasion. I'm very sorry I lost Meatball's brown frog. But I put the thing back up. He says it's all good. I'm going to catch him another brown frog in the future and make sure he gets that. Maybe I'll catch him a yellow one if I'm lucky. So now with a little experience and having done this a couple times, I think I'm getting a little better at preparing the track, closing the doors, dropping the frogs in. We've got my friend Catsy here. Meatball's got a frog on the course. I've got a frog in the course. And we're going to let this rip one more time. Catsy bets on brown. Brown Meatball frog. Actually, Meatball is saying that that is not Meatball. It is Dragon Tree 3000. So we're going to call that DT3. And of course, I'm still calling the green frog Kermit. Catsy thinks they're cute, as do we all. Developers did another great job making something really cool looking in this game. I'm asking Cat to do the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. My frog is facing the wrong direction. I opened the door first, and both frogs are having a slow start. Ooh, Kermit is first out the gate. Finally, I've redeemed myself. Yay, Kermit. Put him right back in my bag. Yay! We are the champion. Meatball's frog made a good show of it, or actually Dragon Tree 3000, so I'm just trying to be a good sportsman and make sure Catsy's got her build on. That's should be a automatic. My old friend Bunny stops by. I invited them to race. Bunny is into it, drops in a brown frog, and we're going to put that one on the track. Bunny's actual avatar's name is Fat Kid, but he likes to be called Bunny, and he is calling his frog Mellow. And we're going to be racing Mellow against Super Oof's frog Willy. Willy versus Mellow. Let's set up the track. So we've got Mellow in lane 2 and Willy in lane 1. Sorry for talking in caps, also known as yelling. Placing our bets again just for fun, just for bragging rights. Looks like Meatball's betting on Willy. I'm asking Meatball to help open Willy's door. And I think I asked Catsy to help us count it down again. 3, 2, 1, go. Definitely Meatball was slow on opening the door. It might have been because Super Oof was in the way. He apologizes. We make sure we catch those frogs and get them back to their owners. This was such a good time though. As always, I'd like to thank everybody who participated. Thank you Super Oof, thank you Catsy, and of course thank you Meatball. Appreciate the fat kid, aka Bunny, stopping by. Anybody's always welcome to hang out. Please remember to like this video and subscribe so you can see when my next video is coming out. I try to put out at least one video a week, if not more. Remember to have a great time and keep it imaginary.